today's video, we're gonna be taking this Bentley for its first test drive in over 2 years.
What would you do if I wasn't here? Dude, that would've made some good content though. Here.
You're pointing at the track.
Oh, this is so cool. We're going 2 miles an hour. First time driving a Bentley.
And here's how we got there. I realized from the last video, I forgot to tell you guys about the oil analysis. Is this thing safe to drive? Is it not? Oh no. Before we look at the results of the oil analysis, in the last video we did take 2 steps backwards and 1 step forward. We almost lost all the oil from the front differential, which could have caused a big problem. Oh, those issues solved. Now we have to start putting this thing back together. Now we can put the radiator back on, start building up all this radiator. We do have to remove this front differential cooler. This time we will not forget to connect it. Now with the front oil cooler removed, now you can put in the radiator, the condenser, and then probably one of the most important parts that was actually cheaper. So all the way from the UK, because this was way cheaper to buy in the UK, to America, we have the radiator shroud. So we're gonna put this on now, and we're getting closer, baby. No, don't scratch the lights. Just kidding, that doesn't go in first. So you have to install the differential cooler, and then you can put the shroud over the top of it. There is small brackets that do connect to the shroud. With the shroud in place, I can connect both airbag sensors that go on top of the shroud on each side. Then from there, the radiator support shield could go on top. And yes, I know that this isn't very pretty, and we'll paint it later on in this video. And this gets secured with about 45,000 T30 Torx bits. Maybe T27, can't remember. Come on, that is absolutely awesome. We're getting close. I will be painting that because I do not like that. But now we can throw on the front crash bar. Installing this front crash bar is gonna tell us a lot about this, and it's also gonna let us know if we welded the frame rails right. And I'm happy to say, it looks like that we did it correctly because everything is lining up perfect. Hold on, wait. You guys have been watching this video for just over 2 minutes.
What?
Is this Bentley okay? Is it okay to drive? And the answer is yes. All wear metals read at or below average here. So, and it also says there are no mechanical issues that stand out, and there were no signs of fuel or coolant contamination, which is awesome. The viscosity, I can't say the word, is at the correct range for 040. We're good. Now with that being said, we can get back to building this thing and taking it for a drive. So one of the things that Bentley does is they normally weld this, but I think instead of welding it, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to actually take and put some rib nuts in here because it makes it a lot easier. And if I ever have any issues and I need to take this headlight out, I won't have to take and cut the welds. Those things that is OEM, but it's gonna be better than OEM. Because if anything was to happen in the future and I have to remove this headlight or anything behind the headlight, I do not wanna be cutting into all this hard work that I just did. If you are unsure what a rib nut is, it is basically an insert that you're putting into metal, but it's basically an insert that is like a threaded nut, and then you could put a bolt and then secure both pieces of metal together. Now I'm gonna install this headlight back into the car now that we have that bracket secured on there. But now before we do that, I am gonna paint this because it looks horrible and I just don't like it, so I'm gonna repaint this real quick. It's one of them small details that is just gonna make this car look better. Now at the ending of the very last video, I did show you these lights plugged in, and I did not like the way that the light looked in there, so I got some new ones, so we're gonna install those, and I'm gonna show you what the difference is, and you guys can leave in the comments below if you think that it was a good idea to switch light. I think it's gonna look 10 times better. So while changing this bulb, there is this one bracket that goes onto the headlight that didn't quite fit, and it kept wanting to fall off, so I just panel bonded it on there. This, I did realize that this sensor right here was completely busted. So I ordered a new sensor so we can put that on. 2 bolts, easy. Don't want any airbags going off on us, so yeah, we'll throw that in there. One of the things that I'm glad that I caught, because it's a small crack that could have been a big issue in the future. I don't know, but it's a very cheap part. It costs about $15, so might as well replace it. Now that we got the new airbag sensor in, now it's time to work on the other side headlight so that we can do the exact same thing with the rib nuts. Put that in there, and I did notice that the headlight washer hose was disconnected, so I decided to reconnect all that before I put everything back together. Okay, now that this piece is on there, it's dry, it's sturdy, we can throw it in here, and then I can show you exactly how that the light works, because this should look better. Or I should say, I can actually show you what it looks like with the new light in here, and it should look a lot better. Now this is an example of why that I'm glad that I rib nutted this in, because with that bracket on the headlight, it didn't fit in there, so I had to take the bracket back off, so I was able to slide the headlight back in. One of the things that you learn while building these cars that just happen to work out for the best. Okay, now we got that headlight installed. And we're gonna compare it to the other one because we did replace that bulb, and I think it's gonna look 10 times better. So unfortunately, I should have checked the bulbs. For some reason, the package, it seemed like that was gonna be a better color, but it turned out to be the same. It's unfortunate, but that's for another day. I can live with it for now. What's more important is installing and keep moving forward, because I really wanna drive this car. I really, really wanna drive this car. Now this is dry and it looks 100 times better than what it did, but let's throw it on the car. Now I did resand and repaint this piece. I did not like the way that it looked. I thought it looked terrible and it wasn't good enough to go back on the car, but now that it's painted and looking much better. In my head, I thought that would be a lot cooler. Now we get to fill up the coolant so that we can take this thing for a drive. And this time, we're not gonna be draining it out, so let's put the coolant in. The same procedure as what I did in the last video. We connect the vacuum fill to the coolant reservoir, blow air across the valve, and it will suck all the air out of the cooling system. And once you get all the air out of the system, I like to close the valve and let it sit for a few minutes. This will help ensure that there is no leaks. Then I can connect the hose, fill up a bucket full of coolant, and open it up, and it will suck all the coolant into the system. Okay, now I got the car full of coolant before we take it for a drive. Hopefully that's the last time we're gonna have to put coolant in it. I'm gonna start it up, run it up to temperature, and then there is one more thing that I do that I just remembered I have to do under the car, and that's putting on the sway bar. But we'll do that after we get this thing warmed up and run up to temperature. So let's run this thing up to temperature, and yeah. The only thing with this car is I'm gonna have to power steering still needs to be addressed. I'm probably gonna have to fix that before we go on a drive. I'm just gonna sit here and do this for a while. Sometimes this helps bleed it. All right, so coolant still staying full. Temperature looks good. As far as this, it's getting better. Still a little windy, but you know, there's probably a procedure. I do have the Bentley worker's manual. I could probably figure out how to do it. This is the power steering reservoir. It's full, but yeah, it's very bubbly. It shouldn't be bubbly like that. So that tells me that there's a lot of air in there. And yep, we're still not raising in heat. Oh, is that the fans? I'm pretty sure I just heard the fans kick on. That's good. So, well, I'll take that as a win. It is 100% not leaking coolant, holding coolant. Power steering still sounds like shit, but the front's installed, so that's good. But now we have to jump under the car and finish up underneath the car so that we can take this thing for a drive. Now, before I install the sway bar, there is one thing that I did do, and that is when I took out the sway bar, I actually took these out when I should have unbolted it from here, so it caused it to snap down, and I stripped out a bolt over here. So sometimes we make these mistakes. It actually ripped out the thread, but that's okay because I just used a tap, ran it in there, and it was all good. Now I can connect the sway bar on both sides and attach the sway bar bushings on here, but then I did find something else that was a little concerning. If you see that is completely right there. That is no good. It's gonna ride really bad. Yeah, I'm not gonna let that stop me from driving this car because we're not gonna be driving it crazy or fast. So I'll replace that in a later video. There we go. You know what that means? It's time to take this thing for a drive.
What are we about to do, bro?
We're gonna take this for a drive.
We're gonna what?
We're gonna take this for a drive.
We're gonna what?
Drive.
Let's go.
Before I took this for a drive, I did jack up the front end and move the wheel back and forth because that is the proper procedure to bleed the system of the power steering pump. And this did make the whining noise go away, so power steering pump is now bled. But the power steering pump bled in full. We did have a little problem because the F250 was dead and kind of in the way, so we decided to do this.
You can't start it?
No, it's dead. It's got 2 batteries, dude. It's diesel. 2, 3.
Push, 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 push.
There we go.
Oh, are you gonna be able to stop it? Right. Oh my God. It was just stuck, the brakes were stuck.
Now it's time to give this car one good look over and finally get this car off from this lift in 2 years. Now while we're pulling it off from the lift, the car did seem like that was sitting a little low, seemed a little normal at the time.
Hold on, hold on. Do not go forward.
Taking this car off the lift, we did run into a little issue where that the car was sitting a little low. I didn't think much of it, so I grabbed a couple boards, stuck it underneath the wheels, and still drove it forward. Good call.
One lug nut?
One lug nut.
Bro, come on. God. What would you do if I wasn't here? Dude, that would've made some good content though. This one's got 2.
Sometimes I get so excited that mistakes do happen and I did forget to put in all the lug nuts.
You're gonna torque them, right?
Yeah. Torque. Torque. Seriousness, I did go around the car and I did make sure that I did tighten up each lug nut. Torque to spec. Lug nuts on it and torque. It's time to take this thing down the driveway. But that's when we started hearing a little something that didn't sound right. So the car is sitting too low. And I think that has to do with those height sensors. Damn it. I got it. So this is way too low right here.
Dude, you're pointing at the grass.
If you see, this is way too low. And that's due to the height sensors on here. The height sensors are not going up or down. We got to figure this out. Be right back. I can't explain what happened, but we ended up backing it up into the garage and messing with some buttons, and it did. The suspension did lift up, and now it kind of looks like it's an off-road vehicle, or it has just a major lift on it. But now the car is high enough for us to take it for a drive, so let's take it for a drive.
Let's go. Say hi. Yeah, it's
It's really bouncy, but fuck it. So that means that there's only one last thing to do, and that is to take it for a drive, and I'm so excited to drive this car. This is so...
It is shut, right?
Yeah, I think so. We have to drive cars so late at night all the time. Well, yeah, the lights are on. Oh, this is so cool. We're going 2 miles an hour.
First time driving a Bentley?
First time driving a Bentley.
This was your original dream car?
Yeah, 2005, baby. First auto show I went to.
Wow!
Oh, you would never guess that's how this went.
Put it on back.
You guys can see that I absolutely love this car. I'm so excited I finally got to take it for a drive. This means so much to me, and if you haven't already, please hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. Because this took 2 years, a lot of research, a lot of pain and suffering to get to this point, and this means so much. And I'm so happy that you guys have come along on this journey.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Pick me up. Wait for me.
I'm excited. And we got to take the first drive in the belly. Totally awesome. Didn't get to go fast because, yeah, we don't have a windshield in here. But that's one step closer to finish this car. I'm gonna have to figure out the ride height thing with it. But if you like this type of video and you want to watch more, thank you for all your guys' support on making it this far. You're awesome. This video is over, and peace. We ride into the moon, bro. I don't know. I think that we should probably off-road the Bentley. What do you think?